The Sushant Singh Rajput case. What an enigma. I was left bewildered after watching all the news on this unsolved mystery. As a lawyer, this case was not just another news item for me. As tragic as the entire episode was, there were a lot of legal angles to examine around it. Quite recently, another case related to this issue cropped up before the Delhi High Court. A movie called Nyay was released on an OTT platform called Lapalap, and the late actor Sushant Singh Rajput's father, Mr. Krishna Kishore Singh, approached the court seeking that the said movie be stopped from screening, as it violated the privacy of the late actor. Mr. Krishna Kishore Singh claimed that being the sole surviving legal heir of the late actor, he was entitled to approach the court. I will now discuss the arguments made in this case and the judgment passed by the court. The lawyer who appeared for Mr. Krishna Kishore Singh argued that the movie was made on the basis of various defamatory statements and news articles, which said things like the late actor consumed drugs, or that he was mentally not well, that he was anxious, or that he was depressed. And it also went into the relationship between Mrs. Riya Chakravarti and Mr. Sushant Singh Rajput. The lawyer argued that these were all unverified rumors. It was argued by him that such statements about the late actor could not be published without the consent of his legal heir, Mr. Krishna Kishore. The lawyer argued that the movie, which was a direct retelling of Mr. Sushant Singh Rajput's life, violated the privacy of both the late actor and his legal heir, Mr. Krishna Kishore Singh. Another legal principle that the lawyer relied upon was that of personality rights, an issue on which I've spoken extensively on a video episode in another podcast called Law Ko Jano, where I was invited as a speaker. The lawyer argued that celebrities have the right to prevent others from using their name, personality, and likeness or attributes for making commercial gains without their consent. He even went to the extent of saying that celebrities have a special set of rights, known as celebrity rights, on the usage of their name and personality. Further, he argued that not only were the late actor's right to privacy and personality rights infringed, even the trial pertaining to his death could be compromised by the film in this era of media trials. Most importantly, Mr. Krishna Kishore's lawyer argued that personality rights and the right to privacy are heritable, meaning that they can be passed on by a person who is legal heir even after his demise. And this was the very bone of contention in this case. So now let me get to the arguments made by the lawyers for the other side, that is the movie makers, the OTT platform. Firstly, they argue that neither the right to privacy nor publicity rights can be passed on to one's legal heir. Then they argued that since the news items and facts that the movie showcases are already in the public domain, there is no case for infringement. Since the right to privacy does not extend to publicly known facts. And they even argue that the movie did not make any reference to uh, Sushant Singh Rajput ji or his photographs. And so they also pressed further that the right to make such films was a part of the right to free speech, which was guaranteed under Article 19(1)(a) as a fundamental right by the Constitution of India. They argue that this fundamental right of free expression would be available to the filmmaker even if the filmmakers do not verify the truthfulness of the events shown in the movie. Now, the most interesting part. When the court held after listening to the lawyers for both sides, and this judgment, let me tell you, is rendered by learned Justice Hari Shankar, one of the sitting judges of the IPT in the Delhi High Court. So first of all, he said that he watched the movie himself and found that there was not an iota of doubt that it was entirely based on Mr. Sushant Singh Rajput's life and his tragic demise. The court even commented that the disclaimer given at the beginning of the film, that any resemblance to any real person is purely a coincidence, was of no value in the present case. The court held that the imposition of a stay on the streaming of the film, which was being sought, would serve no purpose as the movie had already been viewed by thousands of people, right? And the conclusion reached by the court after hearing both sides was that neither personality rights nor the right to privacy were heritable. This means that the rights do not pass on from Mr. Sushant Singh Rajput to his legal heir, Mr. Krishna Kishore, after his demise. Further, since the movie was based on information available in the media, it was all public information and thus did not defame or violate any right to privacy. The court also held that the movie was ultimately protected by the right to free speech under Article 19(1) of the Constitution. The court also commented on the argument regarding celebrity rights made by Mr. Krishna Kishore Singh's lawyer, The court was of the view that even if such an argument was to be accepted, any celebrity rights would merely be an avatar of personality rights, and that such rights would also not devolve upon the legal heir of the late actor. The court held that in such an event, any special rights reserved only for celebrities would go against the very scheme of the Constitution. The celebrities would also therefore only have the same personality rights as other public personalities. That's what the court held. And the court even commented that celebrity status is something which can be very, very momentary or a very fleeting concept, right? Something which can change easily. So the court gave the example of the child actors who played the some of the main characters in the movie Slumdog Millionaire, who drifted back into oblivion after a few days of celebrityhood, right? After a very short period of time, people forgot about them. So this means that it's very difficult to give special rights as for celebrities. And regarding the argument that a free and fair trial could be hampered by the movie, the court held that the justice system was not so fickle or so weak that it could be affected by just a movie. And so this judgment becomes very, very relevant in the contemporary present times. Privacy is a concept of great relevance, right? That has been recognized as a fundamental right by the Supreme Court of India. Even the latest bill on the legislation for privacy has now been approved by the Supreme Court, which means that very soon we'll actually have a proper statute for privacy in India, something which has been missing for quite a while. And personality rights are being increasingly enforced by famous personalities, and sports persons, actors. Lately, the revered actor, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, had obtained an injunction order from the Delhi High Court, uh, uh, obtaining basically a stay on the use of his attributes such as his voice or his appearance from being used for commercial purposes without his consent. So all this makes the judgment of the Sushant Singh Rajput case that I discussed very, very relevant today. And not only for lawyers, but also for other industries such as the entertainment, films, technology industry, and online platforms. So I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. Stay tuned for more episodes and fascinating aspects of IP and tech law. I often talk about the things that I practice as a lawyer in real life. And that's why I really, really like imparting this knowledge and awareness to all of my viewers and listeners. And before we depart, I would like to express my deepest condolences for the grieving family of Mr. Sushant Singh Rajput ji, a great actor who left us all too early. Thank you.